Hey guys, I'm Ted, here to give you another fat fact. And for today's fat fact, we're going to discuss Andrew Jackson's offensive during the second, the Great Bank War. For its offensive, Andrew Jackson initiated a plan that he thought would kill the Second National Bank. The Second National Bank had already been weakened, in his opinion, by the defeat of the recharter attempt, and he wanted to. In his opinion, he had already politically weakened it, and now he wanted to economically weaken it. So he came up with a plan of removing all of the federal funds, federal funds deposited in the Second National Bank, and he wanted to remove those funds and place them into seven pet banks, seven state pet banks. His attorney general, not attorney general, his Secretary of the Treasury, a man named William McLean, flat out refused. McLean said this was a very foolish idea. This was a very, Lewis McLean, I'm sorry about that. Lewis McLean said this was foolhardy, this would cause economic ruin. He refused to do it. So Jackson fired him. He succinctly removed him. He very quickly removed him from his office as Secretary of the Treasury. But because Jackson, a lot of Jackson's appointees were political appointees, he could not kick him out of the cabinet. So he simply reshuffled the cabinet and made McLean Secretary of the State. And to replace McLean, he brought in Duane. He brought in William Duane. Now, Duane himself stood up to Jackson and said, "No, I'm not going to do this. This is insane. You can't destroy the Second National Bank. It'll be ruinous to everybody." Jackson, undeterred, decided to, again, simply reshuffle his cards and remove Duane from the office of Secretary of the Treasury. And throughout Jackson's presidency, throughout his national political career, there'd always been one member of the cabinet who, no matter what, has stood by his side, and that was the Maryland attorney, the Maryland politician, Roger Taney. Now Jackson turned to Taney and asked Taney to serve as his treasurer, and Taney accepted. And when Jackson gave the order, Taney ordered the removal of all of the federal deposits from the Second Bank of the United States and deposited the federal funds into the state banks. This act, the continual removal, and it had to be a continual removal because the Second Bank of the United States was the bank of deposit. So whenever a city, a state was paying federal taxes or federal import-export duties, it went into the Second National Bank. And as soon as it got there, Taney was on it. Taney's agents were on it to remove it and place them into these pet banks. With this action, Jackson economically weakened the Second National Bank. And in response, there really wasn't a whole lot anybody could do in response. Biddle launched a campaign in which he disrupted the national economy, hoping to turn people against Andrew Jackson, but the people simply turned against Biddle and the bank even more. Clay tried to use the Senate to really put pressure on the Congress. Clay really attempted to use the Senate, had a platform to rally all of Congress to put pressure on the president, but he couldn't garner enough support. So Jackson was really largely unpunished for his actions. No one ever touched him, and his plan succeeded in sufficiently weakening the Second National Bank, and that was Jackson's great offensive. And with that being said, I'll end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it enlightening, maybe even a little insightful. As always, I'm Ted. Hit like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you thought about Andrew Jackson's offensive in the Great Bank War. And I'll see you guys next time with another fat fact.